Elements of nature are all around us. Most people easily notice and admire wildflowers, leaves changing color with the seasons, or migrating birds. However, there are also elements of nature that are less noticeable at first glance, but provide us with valuable ecosystem services and information about the conditions of the habitat they are growing in. One of those elements are lichens. What are lichens and why do they matter? Lichens occur in nearly all terrestrial habitats on Earth, from tropical rainforests to polar regions. Lichens are the product of a mutualistic relationship between a fungus and a green alga, a fungus and a cyanobacterium, or sometimes all three, a fungus, a green alga, and a cyanobacterium growing together. The symbiosis between these different organisms is so well balanced that scientists consider lichens to function as relatively self-contained miniature ecosystems. That is because the alga and cyanobacterium produce food for the fungus, and the fungus provides the alga and cyanobacterium with a protected place to live and with nutrients, water, and minerals absorbed from the air and rain. Unfortunately, human-caused air pollution is impacting sensitive lichens. Lichens are among the most air pollution-sensitive species in our ecosystems, and are among the first affected. Lichens absorb pollution quickly and directly from air and rain. As a result, they are one of the ecosystem components that managers monitor to detect the status and trends in air quality. Lichens are woven into our ecosystems. There are about 5,400 different lichens in the continental U.S. and Canada. They provide food, cover, and nesting materials for a variety of birds, mammals, and insects. For example, the northern Parula warbler prefers old man's beard lichen to build its nests throughout its northern range. Lichens are also used as nesting material by many hummingbirds, and as foraging habitat by many insectivorous birds. Lichen decline would negatively affect these birds, particularly songbirds, many of which are already experiencing significant declines in North America. Lichens are also critical to some endangered species, like the northern spotted owl, whose primary prey includes flying squirrels and voles that eat lichens almost exclusively in the winter. Ungulates like deer, moose, and elk may rely on lichens as bridge foods during winter months. Lichens also contribute to forest and rangeland water and mineral cycles. Tree lichens intercept nutrients in rain, snow, and canopy drip, and act as a slow-release fertilizer to the plants on the forest floor below. Lichens form associations with microbes and mosses that improve the water-holding capacity and fertility of rangeland soils and help prevent their erosion. Lichens take hold in the harshest environments, such as alpine or desert systems, and help build up soils so that other vegetation can grow in these exposed environments. Traditional societies have used lichens for medicines, food, textiles, and dyes. Lichens produce over 1,000 different unique chemicals. Scientists today are testing and synthesizing these chemicals for use as antimicrobial, pain-relieving, and anti-cancer drugs. Lichens also contribute to the enjoyment of experiencing nature, whether in a city park, backyard, or wilderness. To understand how to maintain healthy ecosystems, land managers need to know when and where environmental threats are occurring. Lichens are some of the earliest responders to air pollution. Lichens, especially growing on trees, readily accumulate air pollutants from air and rain. Thus, they can serve as the canary in the coal mine for air pollution effects in forests and the many environments where they grow. Compared to other ecosystem components, lichens tend to have lower critical loads. If you remember from the introductory video, a critical load is the level of deposition at which an ecosystem begins to experience harm. When a critical load is reached or exceeded, ecosystem damage is expected to begin. Lichens are vulnerable to air pollutants, such as sulfur dioxide, ammonia, fluorine, and nitric and sulfuric acids. These interrupt essential processes, like photosynthesis and respiration. Some lichen species are also sensitive to excessive nutrients, especially nitrogen. Excessive nitrogen generally promotes smaller, faster-growing lichen species, which eventually replace the more sensitive, more ecologically valuable lichens. For example, the horsehair lichen, which is important to New England wildlife, is sensitive to nitrogen pollution. As deposition increases, this lichen may be replaced by the common green shield lichen, which is more pollution tolerant but does not fulfill the same ecological roles. If deposition reaches a very high level, the total diversity and amount of lichens in an ecosystem will decrease or even disappear altogether. Due to their sensitivity, changes in lichen community composition are often used in air quality monitoring studies. The U.S. Department of Agriculture Forest Service has used lichens to monitor air quality for 30 years. During this time, the Forest Service has gathered lichen survey data at over 9,000 sites across the continental U.S. and Alaska. The purple sites on this map show where lichens indicate low nitrogen deposition, and the orange and yellow sites show where lichens indicate high nitrogen deposition. These data have allowed the agency to develop critical loads for lichens by characterizing which species occur in clean air sites compared to polluted air sites for any forest type or climate. If the air is clean enough for sensitive lichens, it is likely clean enough for plants and people. If the critical loads are exceeded, the risk of harm from air pollution to lichens and other organisms in that ecosystem increases. Environmental Protection Agency regulations, under the authority of the Clean Air Act of 1963, have significantly reduced emissions of sulfur and nitrogen-containing pollutants. However, because lichens are so sensitive to air pollution, the best way to protect lichens, other sensitive ecosystem components, and ecosystems as a whole is to continue to reduce our emissions of harmful pollutants.